Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to be talking about Cardano and where I really think this is going to be hitting. Now, this isn't some pie in the sky. I will show you how I got to these numbers to see if you agree. Not a financial advisor. I'm an investor myself, and I make these decisions so that I know how to make, or at least I have my own projections on where things are going, and I created this channel to be able to share those with you, but secondarily, because I've realized that if I had enough subscribers, I would be able to reach out to these project directors, managers, CEOs, and even the engineers and speak to them directly, because what I love to learn is what is happening below the surface. And one of the reasons I have been in love with Cardano is because what has been happening below the surface. Now, thankfully on this project, Charles Hoskinson runs, you can subscribe to his channel and you can get updates on what's happening with him. And he talks very openly about a lot of the things that are happening below the surface. Now, what he doesn't disclose is the things he can't disclose, which is agreements that are in negotiations and when things are going to be listed on, say, Coinbase and things like that, because he can't give those timelines per whatever agreements he makes, and that's understandable. But by looking at what they're building and doing below the surface, it gives you insight into, is this a viable problem solver for the problems that we're facing in not only the crypto world, but the world in general. And Charles Hoskinson is one of the geniuses that have helped build the crypto world as we know it. One of the original founders of Ethereum. And then they couldn't come to some agreements on how to shape the future of crypto through Ethereum. And so him and some of the other people left and they started their own thing. So two of the greatest projects we have going on right now, both Polka Dot and Cardano, come from previous founders of Ethereum. So let's talk some more about Cardano and let's look at exactly where we're at right now. It's trading at 43 cents. So if you watch my last video where I went over some of the gains that a lot of these major projects have had since the crypto winter of 2018, 19, and even a little bit of 2020, then you can know that Cardano was as low as 1.7 cents. Ooh, so it's done a cool 25x from there. But where will it go from here? I think it's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. And let's see if you agree with me. First of all, when I am looking at any altcoins, I always keep an eye on what Bitcoin dominance is doing. Here's why. See, I was around in 2017, and though I had lots of experience with real estate investing, I was a complete noob when it came to crypto investing. Now, I did have a little bit of experience with some stock investing, but not very much. And so reading charts, this was all new territory for me, and I didn't know about Bitcoin dominance. As well as there wasn't too much history in 2017 that even if I had been aware of Bitcoin dominance, of things to look at. Because a lot of the altcoins really didn't start taking hold till 2017, and I'll show you. See, Bitcoin dominated the market cap almost completely at over 99%. But this really starts to show when Ethereum and then some other cryptocurrencies, at the time, a lot of these cryptocurrencies were just a promise and a prayer and a plan of what they would deliver. And so as these came out, this is when Ethereum's functionality, though, started to be realized. They had launched Ethereum much, much sooner than this, and a lot of people fudded them and told them they were crazy and it was a Ponzi scheme and it would never work. And as it did start to work, you saw a lot of money roll into Ethereum and then other altcoins, and then you saw Bitcoin dominance fall. However, it hit here after there were some massive gains in Ethereum and, say, Litecoin and a few other cryptocurrencies, Tron and some other ones, and then it bounced up to here. So this usually where these altcoin runs kind of cooled down for a bit, and Bitcoin then had a run. So people were selling some of their altcoin gains and rolling it back into Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin's dominance rose, and then it did a massive, massive fall here in dominance. I call these, it's not a technical word, but I use it womp, because that's what it looks like, right? A big womp. Then it fell all the way down here. It bounced around back and forth and climbed as Bitcoin did a massive run up to over 19 grand here. So I think it was somewhere around 3,000 here, ran all the way up to 19 grand. Made some massive gains in dominance before so much of those gains were rolled over into altcoins all the way into February, where then Bitcoin grabbed some dominance again. But then, altcoins still continued to pump for a while, and this is really when crypto winter began. And both Bitcoin and altcoins did terrible during the crypto winter. One of the lessons I did learn from this, apart from keeping an eye on Bitcoin dominance, is sell your gains when you make some massive, huge, crazy gains. And unfortunately, I didn't know very much about the cryptocurrency cycle. See, in 2017, everyone said it was going to just keep continuing and that Bitcoin was going to hit 200,000. And it didn't. Why? Well, it just, like everything, when it has massive gains, it just doesn't have enough user adoption to continue that run for forever, and so it pulls back. And as it pulls back, people get scared. They then sell and dump, which further increases the cycle of a bear market, and it takes a while for it to then build up some steam and has to trade sideways for a long time before it's ready for another massive run. Now, what I like about cryptocurrency is it seems this cycle happens in a 4-year timeline. Now, real estate, it tends to happen on a much longer timeline. That timeline or that cycle can be 10 to 14 years. And so catching these cycles takes such a long time between them. Well, the great thing about cryptocurrency is even if you don't completely catch this cycle, or if you miss out selling your massive gains and have to learn the very hard lesson that I did in the crypto winter of 2018 and 2019, was sell the top. Now, it's hard to tell exactly where that top is, but let's talk about where that top may be with Cardano. Okay, so Cardano is trading at 43 cents now. It was as low as 1.7 cents. It'll likely never, ever be there again, even in any future crypto winters, unless something massively goes wrong with the project, which, for my own personal beliefs, I don't see that happening. Could. It always could. Something could happen. People could hack Cardano. Who knows? But I don't see that happening. So where would it go from here? I want to look at Cardano versus Bitcoin, and I'll tell you how I'm coming up with my number. Let's look at the Bitcoin or Satoshi value of where it hit during the last altcoin run, and it hit 8,779 Satoshis. Now, if Cardano at the time was just a plan, a promise, and a prayer that it would hit that, that it would deliver on what it was promising to do. So at the time, there was no realized functionality. In fact, after the ICO, they were investing in researchers to write papers to really build this right. So at the time, there was nothing functionally going on there except for a promise, a plan, and a prayer. And yet it hit 8,779 Satoshis. So now, this cycle, they'll be rolling out with the Goguen release. You will have projects announced being on top of it. At some point, Coinbase is going to list it. Coinbase won't even be as relevant as it once was because you have other projects like Voyager that carry Cardano on it directly. So people can go from their bank account through a fiat gateway. Coinbase used to control that fiat gateway, but now there's other ones like Voyager. There's some in Europe that are fantastic fiat gateways. So that on these fiat gateways, they can buy Cardano directly. So it won't be near as complicated as it was in 2017, where people first had to buy Bitcoin on, say, Coinbase, then send that Bitcoin to a secondary exchange in order to be able to buy Cardano, which was holding back people being able to buy some of these altcoins last cycle, and they're not going to have this problem this time. So, in my opinion, for myself, I think it'll probably hit at least the same Satoshi values. And if it does, let's do some math. So let's pull up the handy dandy calculator, and let's say it hits 8,779. Let me get that all the way out here. Let's say 75. Okay. 0.0000 8,875 times Now, I know Bitcoin isn't at, Bitcoin, it's not at 40,000, but can we just use the 40,000 number because it makes the math a little bit easier for a number of reasons. So let's times this by 40,000. So let's say Bitcoin only hits 40,000, but Cardano reaches the same Satoshi value as it did before, then Cardano would hit at least $3.55 if Bitcoin only stays at 40,000. Now, is it pretty reasonable to believe that Bitcoin is probably going to surpass 40,000? Personally, for my own investment, I think it'll do at least 200,000 and may hit as much as 400,000 because institutional FOMO. If we get massive institutional FOMO, might even do even better than 400,000, but let's say it hits somewhere between 200,000 to 400,000. So if it just hits 200,000 and Cardano hits the same Satoshi value of what it hit before, let's times this by 5 then, because that's going to take us to a $200,000 Bitcoin with the same Satoshi value as before, and that's where we get $17.75 Cardano. Now, if you think about it, Cardano's pushing up about 40 cents. So it's not even, in crypto terms, terribly far away from this yet. It really isn't. Think that Cardano came from 1.7 cents all the way to where it's at 40 cents. So at 40x, and this is a little bit above 40x from where it's at now. So it already went 40x. And we're not in the massive bull cycle. We have started it and we are in it, but we're not in the crazy FOMO yet. So if it 40x's from where it's at now, it'll hit just under this. So do I think this is pretty reasonable? Yes. Now, if it hits the same Satoshi value and Bitcoin goes to 400,000, this is what Cardano would look like. $35.50. Now, to some of you, it seems completely unfeasible and unreasonable that this will happen, and you say, no way can this happen. Well, I did say no way could Chainlink hit over $10 back when we were kind of still in the bear market, a little bit going into the bull market, and I sold my Chainlink at like $6.50 and like $8 and was like, oh my gosh, whew, and it went all the way to $21. Because I just couldn't picture it, especially yet. I wish I hadn't. I wish I had waited till $15 or more. But who's to say? You know, when I do remember back in 2017, there was some massive not institutional, but retail buyer FOMO. And it was just crazy. And things were popping off so high. You had all these people that had no experience in crypto, and their friends were showing them how to buy on Coinbase or whatever other fiat gateways they could get, and then send the crypto to the exchanges, so much that it flooded the exchanges, and many exchanges weren't even ready for it. And so in some exchanges, there was like a 2-month wait list to even be able to get an account on them. Well, we are seeing some of that problem with Voyager, and I think that problem will get solved with them so that they're better ready for the massive influxes that we are going to see, as well as there are more fiat gateways this time around, as well as there are more fiat gateways where they'll be able to buy Cardano directly. So one of the great things about Voyager is it's a fiat gateway and you can buy Cardano directly. One of the great things about Coinbase is it's a fantastic fiat gateway, and it's likely, though we don't know for sure, to have Cardano by the peak of this massive, massive bull run. So do I think it's going to get hit somewhere between $17 to $35? I absolutely do. Will it? Well, we will see. I'm betting on it for myself. So, wanted to share with you where I'm going with this channel. Now, I created this channel because I got really, really frustrated about 3 months ago, and I was trying to reach out to some project directors myself, and they were not returning anything. So then I tried to go through some YouTubers to reach those project directors, but they didn't even respond to me. But they were responding to people who had large YouTube channels very, very quickly. And I realized that if I want to be able to get answers from people quickly, I need to be able to create valuable enough content for people to watch, that they will subscribe to my channel, and that they'll like the videos. Because then the project directors are going to get back to me very quick so I can get some answers for myself as an investor. And that was very frustrating. I thought, really? in order to solve that problem, I've got to think about how to create some valuable content for everyone else. So I have been absorbing everything myself for the past 4 years. And I put in hours of research every day for about 4 years now. So I'd like to think I know what's going on, but you tell me. Many of you have been investing in crypto for as long as I have, some even longer, and some of you are newer. So, a couple things. I would love to hear how you think the content is going. Secondly, I love to hear your thoughts. I realize there are some brilliant people out there that are aware of some things that aren't popping right now, but they like the fundamentals of what they're seeing. And if you have some suggestions, here's what I need from you. Not just the name of a coin. No, take the time to write out the name and also give me what you like about it and what the market cap is. If you give me those 3 things, I will look at it, and I will look at it for myself. And if I like what I'm seeing too, I will do a video on it. If I don't like what I'm seeing there, I may do a video on it, but I will tell people exactly what I don't like about what's going on there. So I'm sorry if you have huge bags of it and you send it to me and I look at it and I really don't like what it's doing there, and I do a negative video on it. It just is the way I work. I try to call balls and strikes the way I see them. Does that make sense? So thank you guys for joining me. If you like the content, I would love it if you hit the like button. That really helps YouTube send this out to more people. And if you subscribe to the channel, that's really going to help me be able to reach the project engineers directly, to not only ask them good questions, but to have them come on and speak to you so that you can ask them your questions too. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and stay tuned. I will be bringing you more. Thanks so much.